Greetings RC fans, Sharky here and welcome back to Sharky's Garage for this, the first video that I'm recording in 2023. I hope everybody had a great Christmas and a really good new year. Because of release schedules and the fact that I'm away for 2 weeks in January, you're not going to be seeing this until the start of February. Things will have moved on apace. So today we are talking about my FCX24 Max Smasher, which is my C24 build. The body is mounted. You will have seen a video about some of that probably. But finally my upgrades have arrived. This is going to be done. I'm actually filming this on the Thursday, the 5th of January, before taking this to the competition at Grafham Water on the 7th, so on Saturday. So I'm going to try and get all the upgrades done today. And we'll talk you through all of that in a moment. Don't forget to do the usual things, like, comment and subscribe. Right, let's start by talking through what we've got and what's not getting fitted today. So we have these lovely new blue rims and tyres. They are not getting fitted today. I've already test fitted them and I need some different offset spacers. Now, they come with these, and you can possibly see there that the one next to my thumb here, I've cut down to try and make it fit, but it doesn't really fit. So I've spoken to Brian at Small & Sound. He's going to make me some offset spacers because they rub on the hubs. I may try again after I've fitted these because there may be a small difference, we'll see, but pretty much they're not getting fitted. They're gorgeous. I want to run them. They've got foams in them. They've got super grippy, but as it stands, I'm just going to run these ones which don't have things from my FTX Texan. So that's the wheels and tyres. I accidentally ordered a separate set, not realising there was a set in with the under suspension set that I'd ordered. This is for the steering. These are blue alley. I have got blue alley links. I have got shocks, which I will compare. Again, they're blue alley. I don't know whether they can have any oil or grease put in them. I will have a look when I take them apart to see. I doubt that they will, but I will also compare them to the stock ones that's on there, because obviously I want this to perform, and if the stock ones perform better, then I'll leave the stock ones on. If not, I will switch to those. These are the stock lockers that came with it. These are alley aftermarket lockers that I am putting in instead. Okay, and then I have got the metal alley front and rear portal covers and steering arms, which may give me a little bit more steering angle. So we'll get into it, get all these parts fitted. But before we do all of that, I am going to weigh the rig at the start and at the end. I've zeroed my scales. I don't know how well you'll be able to see the numbers on it. Before doing the upgrades, is it on there? It's currently sitting at 368 grams, so 368 grams. We'll see what we get to at the end. One of the key reasons for doing this is I needed to install the lockers. so that you've got locked front and rear axles, because for crawling you need that. When this was the Max Smasher with the bigger wheels on, having unlocked axles meant it had a better turning radius, so it hadn't got the locks ones in. It's got metal ones in it originally. I'm going to get on with stripping everything down now. Obviously we've got a screw holding the body on the front, screw holding the body on the back. We've got the two clips underneath here and underneath here, and that should then lift the body off. See everything in there. I need to check the battery. So I'm going to strip all of this down and come back once everything's done. Now, looking at those rear shocks are set in. The new shocks that we've got there have got offsets on, so I may put the offsets which will stand them out a bit, which means that the shock should go straight up and down, which should look good. So we'll see how it's all going to go. I'll probably start with the rear end because that will probably be easier, but we've got replacement parts for everything, so I'm just going to drop the whole of the rear end off. I'll start by taking out the drive shaft screw. I've stripped the back end down. You need a very small, focus there, Phillips crosshead to take out that little tiny one there. The drive shaft, this is all the original hardware. I've laid everything out, so we've got the bottom links, the top links, the portal covers, the locker and spare, and the shocks. And the good thing about the shocks, they're not oil, but they do have an adjustable collar. So that is now locked down, but this is adjustable. That's locked down. That is adjustable, so you can adjust to give you a gap, which I think is pretty cool. Right, so now I'm going to strip that down. I have attached the top link to the chassis. I've used the, I don't know if you can see it, screw that came with the kit, which is a crosshead as opposed to the 1.5 hex, because they are slightly longer for going into there. I have fitted the bottom links to the axle. Now, this little screw here, focus, yeah, once you take that out, you can pull this whole assembly out from the end of here. So you can see that there is some slots, so that then just pulls that pulls out. Let's take that out, and then I'm going to take that apart, do that upgrade in the middle to the lockers and do the portals, and then put it back together. I've left the original hardware on these, have popped out the 4 screws, taken this apart. I'm just putting this into here because you can see if I hold that bit and twist the portal gear, you can see that's turning in there. This one doesn't, hence why it's locked. So this one is going to replace this one, and we need to change the crown gear to get it to mesh up properly. So that's going to be the next thing I'm going to do. Right, after struggling for ages and thinking I was going to have to give up because I needed to get this off to go on here, this being a one piece, I didn't realise the stock one has got a screw, focus, goes into there, and then it just slips off because there's a lip on the back there. Let's see if we can see it. You can see there's a lip on the back there, so it won't come off that way. So you can't take the bearing off unless you take it apart that way. I feel like an idiot, but it's a lesson I've learned, and hopefully it'll help somebody else. So you need to take the screw out the front, and then the bearing just comes straight off. Hopefully I haven't messed this bearing up. I was trying to be really careful. There's a nice indent in the back there. That sits into there. With the screw on there. And I was just going to run the stock lockers because I couldn't get this off. It needs to go on here like that. Done. Wow. Well, I hope that's going to save somebody else some time. Thanks very much. So after my little boo-boo, I've got one side done. See there, all fitted up and done. Okay, I'm going to do the other side now. One little tip, if you put the screw back in there, because you won't need it again, I'm keeping all the parts. I'll carry them with me as spares in case something goes wrong. But I'm just going to get this one done and show you when this is all back together. Another quick little thing. There is a shim on there which does not show up on the plans, so make sure you don't lose your shim. That's the back end done. I'm going to move on to the front end in a second. Before I do so, there is a slight difference on the shocks. You can see there, if I put that on that bottom one there, you can see they are slightly shorter, but that's fine. The reason why you can't reuse these is these have the ball ends included on the screw, so you could, if you could get the pop the ball ends out of these alley ones, but I'm guessing, considering they're brass, that that's not going to be easy to do. So that's why you have to use the other additional hardware. So looking here, you can see back end is on. I haven't set up any additional stuff. I will run it afterwards and test it, and then recharge the battery ready for the weekend. I have got a spare battery, which is this one, because it's got the same plug on it. This one's a slightly bigger one than this one, which came out of my SG Models Land Rover. So you can see there, that's all of that there. I think it looks smart. We'll see what the weight difference is. So yeah, I'm now going to crack on and get the front end done, and unless there's any particular problems or stuff, I will come back to you once the front end is on. Right, I'm now laid out all the parts for doing the front end. I'm going to do the same as I did on the rear, although I've got to be careful because the steering saver is attached to the front end. So I will drop the front end out like I did before, and we'll do the same as we did on the rear, but this should be easier but more difficult. Looking at these, there are two little ones, which I'm assuming for the top and bottom, and a longer one which goes through to hold it to the main part of the axle. Everything else is all set up. Right, quickly got the thing, because we're going to need to disconnect it. This one here is for the steering servo, so you know where it goes, but there's a lot on this board. So cracking on with the front end, I've already got the links and shocks attached, but this is a nut which fits onto there, which means it's been put through from the inside. So you need to put the servo horn on, or the sit up there before you do that. So I'm going to take it off. I want to keep it attached to the servo so that I don't have to worry about recentering it. I thought I'd just be able to take it out at the bottom of the arm, but you can't unless you take the servo out of the mount. So just something worth noting. So the front axle comes apart in the same way. You've got a little screw there, it goes through a notch. Take the screw out, pull it out. I've put it back in because I'm going to keep these separate so that I've got them as spares. And then we'll do the portals, but yeah, both sides exactly the same. And multiple hours later, nothing is ever easy. So I've had to switch to the plastic spool, plastic locker, because this one is slightly longer and I couldn't get the end to sit in it to get them to fit. So I probably could have had more time. So I've used one of the plastic ones, which are shorter. Let me just show that side by side with this. So the plastic ones are slightly shorter by about 1mm, 2mm, and the line here where the thing goes on, so it actually fits. I couldn't get it to fit and work, so that's been done. I have dropped the shim because getting these to turn has been a nightmare to get everything working properly. It's now working properly, so I'm now going to do the other side. Top tip, you don't have to take these top and bottom ones off. You can just take this screw out, pull that whole section out, leave those two in, take the four off the front here, and then you can pull everything apart. So that's just a thing there, which is what I'm going to do on this side, and I'll get back to you once it's all back together. And then I'm going to pop this on, but I need to mount that onto the servo before I put it onto the steering axle, and then I can put it all back together. So this is still together like this. Put that bit together, mount it onto the axle before you take this apart, and it all will work lovely. Right, the front end is finally done. All spins freely. I left that one in there, which will make it easier for connecting this link up when I do that. Servo's all done. I had to put a longer screw in here to make sure that the lock nut worked. So I've just got 4 to put in. But steering is all there. So I just need to put it all together. I've got these to go on the inside of those, on the long screws at the top, those at the bottom. So I'm going to put that together and shoot it all together, then we'll mount the body up. These are the 2 bags of spare parts. So they're the front bits, they're the rear bits, and these were the extra bits. So we'll get around to getting that done now. Well, it's taken me an awful lot longer than I thought it would, but it is done. It's all there, it's all sorted out. And I'll put the wheels and tyres on in a minute and show you. But first, turn the transmitter on, press the little button on the front there, and we've got steering, and that all works. So I'll put the wheels and tyres on, give you a little running test, and that will be it at long last. Right folks, that's everything done. I thought I'd just show you how pretty it looks underneath. Okay, I have stickered up the body. I've put the white with blue on the side, so I put the blue on the front, white blue on that side. And there it is all together. Now, before we upgraded it, it weighed 368 grams. Let's move that up to the side, onto there. Oh, it's zeroed. It now weighs 391. Gained 23 grams. The 3 grams could be from the 3 stickers, but yeah, I've gained 23 grams in weight. And turning circle's not great because of now having the locked axles, but that's it. So that's it for today folks. Thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you all again soon.